Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be exploring Mission70, which is Internet Computer or ICP Crypto's new mission to reduce inflation. And we're going to kind of go through also the tokenomics of Internet Computer, why the price continues to be stagnant and downward trending, even though we had the release of Caffeine AI, which was the premier large language model that deploys and codes programs onto the Internet Computer, which is then the hosting ecosystem. But since Caffeine AI launched earlier in the month, or just a few weeks before I'm recording this video, while we are seeing some increase in the transaction count and some of the other metrics on the Internet Computer ecosystem, we're not seeing millions. We are also, I think there's a big misconception in the ecosystem that Caffeine AI is Internet Computer, and that the money from Caffeine AI's development and also subscription packages are going to benefit the ICP ecosystem. And in a way, yes, but also in a way, no. Now, you guys know, if you've been watching my videos, that just recently, the end of 2025, I trimmed my position in ICP coins for many of these reasons that we're going to be discussing and that I already just mentioned. And I would definitely recommend subscribing to the channel. That way you never miss a new video. We upload every single day. And you can also check out my recent videos on Internet Computer. Just type in the Cryptoviser ICP right here on YouTube, or go to my channel and just type in ICP, and you should be able to see those videos. And it gives you guys a little bit more insight into what my thesis is on the ecosystem. Now, I'm bullish on AI, generally speaking, in crypto and out of crypto. But this is the premier AI network. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Give the video a free thumbs up, because ICP is still not free, but thumbs up are always free. Let's get into it. Now, like I said, I am very bullish on AI technologies and AI capabilities, and really closely follow a lot of the AI cryptocurrencies. Just recently, we saw the implosion of the AI crypto alliance between Fetch AI, Ocean Protocol, and Singularity Net that have been part of this ASI alliance since 2024, the middle of 2024, about a year and a half before I'm recording this video. And in that time, we have seen them not collaborating, not working together. And at the end of 2025, big implosion between the Ocean Protocol and Fetch AI. One party claiming the other party's selling the tokens, the other party's rug pulling, this one's doing this one's doing that. I don't know. I mean, this is kind of end of cycle activity that we see in behavior from different ecosystems. But at the end of the day, we really have to look at the technology. We have to look at the networks. We have to look at what these crypto projects and blockchains have accomplished. Because we're not trading the market that we want, we're trading the market that's in front of us. And the market that's in front of us may not be closely aligned with what the thesis or the strategy of these protocols has been. And that's one of the big things that a lot of people, especially newer investors, get caught up in with maximalism and holding coins forever and saying, well, I'm holding for 30 years. It's like, we don't even know what's going to happen in the next year with these blockchains or these technologies, let alone the next couple of decades. And so in today's video, we're going to be exploring a lot into the Internet Computer Protocol ecosystem and what this Mission70 is. Now, like I said, I trimmed a big portion of my crypto in general, but definitely ICP coins, because we just continue to see the price of ICP dropping and dropping and dropping. Now, a big part of this has to do with just the end of cycle rotation, right? And if you don't think that we're at the end of the cycle, there's a potential we're going much, much lower. People are like, well, Cryptoviser, you sold the bottom of the market. $3 may not be the bottom of the market. We can go much lower than this in a bear market, especially understanding that the AI decentralized network ecosystem has not really picked up. AI is really focused on these few major companies, NVIDIA, the Bitcoin mining companies that pivoted to AI, OpenAI, Grok, Gemini, all of those type of companies are really where the blank checks and the support from the government and also these large financial firms is coming from. That's why they all have blank checks. And a lot of them have not really pivoted or looked at these decentralized networks like ICP, because the big quality about Internet Computer is not large language model Caffeine AI, because Caffeine AI is not even owned by the community. It's not owned by the ecosystem. It's a separate product. The real, at least in my viewpoint, the real, benefit, I think, for Internet Computer is that they've created this global network that can host and compute for these AI ecosystems. But I don't know that there's trust in a decentralized ecosystem, especially for like corporations that are going to be using AI and putting all of the data that they have on their employees and their customers, on their supply chain and all of that into a decentralized network just yet. The other issue that we've had with Internet Computer is the fact that it is still a significant issue that there is very little to no interoperability. Now, I know people are going to say, but Cryptoviser, what about chain fusion? Cryptoviser, Internet Computer has chain fusion technology. Well, this is not interoperability that I'm talking about. I'm talking about interoperability with USDC directly, which is now tied in with the banks, tied in with the financial ecosystem. Circle just announced their ARC network, which directly ties in with these large financial firms. I'm also talking about Chainlink, which is basically doing the same exact thing. That is real interoperability that brings massive inflows into these ecosystems. And if you don't believe me, guys, I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just providing my analysis and opinions on this market. But we were correct about this in the previous cycle with Cardano. We're now a full cycle later, and Cardano still has no interoperability through Chainlink, no interoperability through any Ethereum bridges, and no stable coins like Tether or USDC. And so we were right about that. And at the end of the day, all of the ecosystems that popped up that do have these technologies, like Chainlink integration, like USDC integration, for example, Solana, for example, Sui, for example, Hyperliquid. Look at what they've done in this cycle. And everybody in the ICP ecosystem saying, Cryptoviser, just wait, we'll get it. Oh, what about chain fusion? And they're just completely missing the freaking point. And that is a huge issue, right? And it's not just the ecosystem and the community that's thinking this, it's also the development teams, because the development teams haven't moved closer to it. And it doesn't seem like DFinity has this as a priority, which is also a major issue. People are like, but Cryptoviser, they're working on Caffeine AI. It's like they should be able to do multiple things at once, and they can create Caffeine AI while also working on the interoperability. And then we also look at the tokenomics. Now, this is where Mission70 comes into play. We're going to get to Mission70 in just a minute, but I want to really focus on what we've been seeing from a network and coin movement perspective, because this is another reason that I trimmed my position. And one of these is weekly transfer volume surged to 50 million, the highest level of 2025 in the ICP ecosystem. And to me, again, we're seeing this in October, at the end of the year, the end of the Bitcoin crypto halving cycle based on the halving tracker. And so if you guys watch my videos, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't watch my videos, go watch my videos and you'll understand what I'm talking about. But effectively, we are at the end of the bull cycle, whether you want to believe it or not. And what happens during the end of the bull cycle is people offload, right? They offload their coins. They are out of the market. They're rotating into more safer investments, more safer assets, such as myself, right? I told you guys before the flash crash that occurred in the beginning of October, that's when I offloaded some of my coins. And so again, after that, we started to see more movement. Well, where was the movement coming from, and why were we seeing all these coins moving? Now, the bulls will say, well, Cryptovisers, everybody was getting ready for Caffeine AI, and, Caffeine AI. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. Fabio posted this chart from IC Terminal that says the ICP supply held by whales keeps steadily increasing. And you could see, as the movement of coins has increased in October, we also saw the ICP whale supply increasing as well. Now, the bulls will say, well, Cryptoviser, this is so bullish because the whales are buying. But in my view, as an analyst, okay, and again, this is just my opinion. You can completely disagree with me if you want, but again, that's not going to change my opinion on this, is that the whales are accumulating because if they don't, the price will be significantly lower than where we are today. It literally tells me that people are selling, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. The rumor was ICP is going to be releasing Caffeine AI. Well, we had that in the middle of the year when I called the top of the market. And it wasn't just the top of the market for Bitcoin. A lot of people misunderstood that. I was calling the top of the market for pretty much all cryptos. And I said everything after the middle of the year, after all of these Bitcoin treasury companies, Ethereum treasury companies were popping up, ICP launched the first version of Caffeine AI, and then they launched a second time Caffeine AI. Well, October was going to be the third release of Caffeine AI. this was a huge fumble in my view by the team, because they should have done everything releasing at least in the first or second go around. Once you have the third go around, people lose interest, and that is a buy the rumor, sell the news event. And people are going to say, but Cryptoviser, no, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, the data literally on chain by the ICP maximalists like Fabio show you that whales are accumulating. They're not just getting the coins from the market and nobody's selling their coins. There's clearly selling going on, because as the whales are buying all these coins, millions and millions of coins, I mean, literally, we should have seen the price go up, but we're not seeing the price go up because people are selling. You can see that happen at the in September. Really in June, after the Caffeine AI launch. This was buy the rumor, sell the news. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Buy the rumor, sell the news. This is exactly what the chart shows you. But then we have the bulls that say, no, Cryptoviser, the whales are buying because it's so bullish. The whales are not buying because it's bullish. The whales are buying because if they don't absorb that supply that is entering the market through people selling, the market will crater. And that's another reason that I am like kind of questioning whether we are going to see any real price improvement before we rotate into a just general bear market for crypto. It's not just ICP, it's all of crypto. And so Fabio also posted this that said an additional 86,000 ICP has been locked for 8 years. And this also confirms my thesis, right? Because these are not like everyday people buying the coins on the market. These are not like, Raoul Pal type whales buying the coins. These are insiders. These are developers of the ecosystem. Because really, I mean, guys, let's be real. Majority of people staking for long periods of time are not everyday investors, are not even non-developer investors. Most of these people are developers. They're investing in the protocol because they're going to build on the protocol, which is great. But this is a different, it's a different category of investor. And in my view, it's not that bullish in terms of widespread usage and adoption. And the thing with Caffeine AI that a lot of people are missing the point of is, I think for the highest pay package for ICP usage is about $100 a month per account. So, I mean, even if they were to, have $10 million a month, if we divide that by $100, that means they need 100,000 users paying $99 a month just to get to $10 million in revenue a month, or $120 million a year. And again, none of that money goes directly to you as an ICP holder, because ICP holders don't own Caffeine AI. It's a separate product. But I understand that if people are paying, if you have 100,000 users paying $100 a month to use Caffeine AI, I would imagine we're going to see activity on the network improve, the price improve, more need for the purchase of ICP coins, and it will be very bullish. But we don't even know how many users there actually are. And I would highly doubt that there are 100,000 users that are paying $100 a month to use this program. Maybe there's 1,000, and that's a maybe. And so if you do the math on that, 1,000 users per month times $100 is $100,000. No, it's still a lot of money, right? And if you times that by 12 months of the year, it's $1.2 million. But that's if there are 1,000 paid users at that level who are using ICP, which I don't know that there are. And so you also see with building on Bitcoin, right? This is the Bitcoin bridge that's built on ICP. Non-zero balance addresses surge. Now, I don't exactly know what this means, right? This could mean that people are moving their ICP coins into Bitcoin or vice versa. I really don't know. And I'm not even going to try to speculate on that. But that brings us to Mission70. And this also kind of indicates that Dfinity and Dominic know that they need to kind of figure out this whole price and inflation situation. He said during 2026, and by the way, this is Dominic, the founder of ICP, he said during 2026, aggressively reducing the ICP inflation by 70+%. An IC Terminal said over the past 12 months, from October 2024 to October 2025, the internet computer supply expanded from 524 million coins to 539 million coins, an increase of about 2.8%. Achieving a 70% reduction in next year, 2026, would bring annual inflation to about 0.8% or under 1%. That's Mission 70. And so how do I feel about this? Well, this is a problem that a lot of these ecosystems have, and that's inflation. And during rotation periods from bull markets to bear markets, the inflation significantly impacts the depth of the decline in the price as you're moving into a bear market. Now, 2.8% is not that high, right? I mean, if you think about the inflation in the US, it's around 3%. If you think about most of these cryptos like Ethereum and Cardano, their inflation is around that as well, right? And a lot of that comes from the rewards that are being paid out for staking, coins on the network. And so obviously you have to have a mechanism to pay people to stake and to pay people to validate on the networks. But you also don't want to continue to dilute the shareholders or the coin holders of these coins. And that's exactly what happens. Now, during a bull market, it doesn't really matter. I mean, Solana has a rewards rate of, I think it was around 7%. So that's more than double what Ethereum's rewards rate for staking is, right? Where is that money coming from? It's not just, they don't just have these coins, like it's popping up through inflation. And so you can see on the ICP Learning Hub, it says here, ICP has inflation and deflation mechanisms. Governance participants can convert voting rewards to newly minted ICP. Also, node providers receive rewards in the form of newly minted ICP tokens. On the other hand, ICP is converted to cycles or burned in order to pay computation and storage. This is depicted in the following picture. Now, this is true, right? So we have a deflationary mechanism, which is when you're using the network, right? You're using ICP, converting it to cycles, which is like the gas for ICP, and that's a deflationary mechanism. And like I said earlier in the year, I think that the ICP ecosystem and developer ecosystem, they were putting all their eggs in this caffeine AI basket. And part of putting all your eggs in a basket, whether it's just producing one product and not focusing on anything else like caffeine AI, or whether it's your investment portfolio, just holding one coin or two coins and that's it, and hoping and praying that your coin's going to go up and then never selling even for a loss if it's continuing to decline. That's a really bad investment thesis and investment strategy. And so from a development perspective, it's the same thing. If caffeine AI picked up the way that other large language models picked up and the blank check companies picked up, yes, obviously network usage would increase, and this would cause more burning and more of a deflationary aspect to the ICP ecosystem. But that's not exactly what happened. And again, we're not seeing the network activity picking up to the degree that a lot of people believed would occur. Let's go back to the ICP dashboard. And you could see this through, well, number one, the burn rate, right? But more specifically, the transaction throughput. Now, you can see back in 2024 and early 2025, we had big spikes in the transactions per second, right? In the middle of the beginning of 2025, we saw it go up to about 12,000 transactions per second. And a lot of this was because I believe that they were just testing out caffeine AI before the launch. And so then we had the launch and it kind of stabilized and created a floor. Now, there is more transactions than we did have earlier in the year, but it's still basically lower than it was at 1 year ago at the beginning of 2025. And so this shows that the usage has improved since the first and second launch of caffeine AI, but not substantially, not significantly. If it did, obviously we would be seeing a lot more of the metrics on the ecosystem increasing, right? You could see the cycle burn rate. If we pull this up from the 1 year, you can see at the beginning the beginning of 2025, end of 2024, massive spikes of the cycle burn rate. And it's basically come down to a floor here, a fraction of what it was 1 year ago. And so these kind of things that I see from an investor perspective, from an analyst perspective, it explains why they're now on Mission 70, because that aspect to deflate a higher amount than you're inflating just did not pan out, because not that many people are utilizing the ICP or Caffeine AI. And I think a lot of that had to do with just kind of a misguided marketing of Caffeine AI. It really should have been, in my view, and again, these are just my opinions, I could be wrong, but in my view, the benefit here is the network and the fact that you can have jurisdiction-specific network to power cloud, to power. I mean, we're seeing cloud services like Amazon Web Service going down constantly. And this affects a lot of different businesses. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of businesses are affected when it goes down. And so Caffeine AI could have been marketed alongside the marketing of the network and the marketing of this decentralized ecosystem and decentralized jurisdiction-specific network that, in my view, Dfinity has done a really good job improving over the course of the last few years. But again, all the eggs were put in the Caffeine AI basket, and it's not playing out the way that I think that they thought it would. And we're seeing that because we would be seeing significantly larger spikes after the first, second, and third launch of Caffeine AI. And that's not what we're seeing. We're kind of seeing basically almost a flat line, a little bit of an increase, but mostly a flat line. And that's not great. And so as an investor, you know, we're rotating into a bear market in the macro sense in crypto. We're not seeing the release as well as we thought it would be, or the focus on, crypto AIs. I mean, it's not just ICP. Look at Fetch AI, Ocean Protocol, SingularityNet, and some of the other ones that were out there, PAL AI. They're all basically at multi-year lows at this point, as is ICP. I mean, we're retesting this $2.90 level, which was the low in 2023, before we started to really pump. And so I just think that the combination of the, in my view, not great execution and marketing of the network or Caffeine AI, the multiple releases of Caffeine AI, it was just like, it was kind of almost like a liquidity suck from the market. Like let's draw this out as long as possible. Let's have not one release, let's have 3 releases. I think that was a huge failure for the release schedule. I do think the network is great. I do think that Caffeine AI is going to help a lot of coders and developers, but I just don't think that the timing at this point is great for where the network is. And I think that this is being confirmed by Mission 70 to aggressively reduce the ICP inflation. Because if ICP inflation is not decreased alongside usage increasing, the price is going to continue to decline. That's just how it works. And the whales accumulating, in my view, is a huge warning that there's a lot of selling going on. And that is concerning as well, to continue to hold and say, well, I'm going to hold for, till next cycle. Well, a lot of these cryptos look at Cardano. Cardano, we were talking about last cycle. It's been hovering this whole cycle. It's been hovering between 25 cents and basically 75 cents. It went maybe a dollar, 25 cents and a dollar. Meanwhile, the previous all-time high was $3. Litecoin, same type of situation. Even Ethereum barely hit its all-time record high. And so that's kind of where we're at. So in my view, that's kind of my interpretation of Mission 70. That's my interpretation of the current status of the tokenomics of the network and just really the macro environment that we're in crypto. Let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure you guys are also subscribed to the channel. Check out my other videos on AI, on crypto, on the macro environment in the financial markets. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you guys on the next video. As always, crypto on.